The suburbs of Philadelphia is an amazing place to live with so many different people moving here for all different reasons, such as top-rated public schools, so many amazing job opportunities, the overall cost of living, all 4 seasons of weather, etc. We have seen a tremendous amount of people move here for all of those reasons and so many more, but of course there are some things that both newcomers and long-term Pennsylvania residents don't like about living here. Keep in mind that all the reasons that we go over today are all relative. The reasons that some people may hate living in the Philadelphia suburbs is also the same reason for why some people want to move here. So keep in mind all of these reasons, it really is all relative. Hi there, I'm Corey Benhart, your Philadelphia suburb realtor. I specialize in helping people just like you make the move and find their perfect Pennsylvania home. All of my contact information is below. In no specific order, let's get started with one of the first complaints that we hear about living in the Philadelphia suburbs, which is the weather. It's no secret that we have all 4 seasons here, which is great because the change of seasons can be amazing to watch, but the downside is the extreme humidity and the very cold, long winters. The hot, humid weather that we experience here might not be like anything that you've experienced before, depending on where in the country you're moving from. It's not uncommon for the humidity levels to be anywhere from 60 to 80% on any given day during the summer. The winters here are typically full of snow, but actually the last 2 years we haven't really experienced that much snow whatsoever. So it really does depend on each individual year. Some years we'll experience feet of snow and other years we'll get only a couple inches, so it really does depend. I get asked all the time, truly, how hot and how cold does Pennsylvania get? And that's such a hard question to answer because it is all relative. It depends on where in the country you're moving from and what climate you're used to. If you're moving from somewhere like Michigan, Pennsylvania winters won't seem too bad at all. And if you're moving from somewhere down south, the Pennsylvania humidity won't feel that bad at all whatsoever. So not just here in the Philadelphia suburbs, but something that almost everyone in the entire state and the entire country has noticed, it's just not as affordable as it used to be. So this one mostly just comes from the Pennsylvania residents that have lived here for a long time, because depending on where you're moving from, there's a good chance that it's more affordable here. So since 2020, we have seen tons of people move here, not only from out of state, but also tons of people from the surrounding cities to get away from the overcrowded and high cost of living environment. All right, so as of last quarter, the median sales price of a home in the Philadelphia metro area was $350,000, and that has gone up 2.9% compared to this time last year. If you're moving from one of the more expensive states, $350,000 for a home might seem extremely affordable, but keep in mind that that price includes the suburbs as a whole. So when we start to break down specific counties and specific towns, that median sales price can certainly go up, and in some areas you can find a home for below that as well. It really does come down to the specific area and the home that you're looking for, but that's all things that we can go over after you reach out. Another reason why people don't like living here is because of the traffic. Since we're in the suburbs of the 5th largest city in the country, that can come with a lot of traffic going in and out of the city. It's always funny to have clients move from LA or New York because our traffic around here is nothing compared to what they're used to. So depending on where you currently live, you might not think our traffic is very bad at all. I was born and raised here, so I remember how separated the city and the suburbs used to be. There was never any Ubers, Lyfts, or ride-sharing services. There was no bus route. There was some train station, but nobody really ever used them. But now there is still some separation between the city and the suburbs, but definitely nothing like what it used to be. It's so easily accessible to go right into the city if you're even out living in the suburbs. The traffic in each town within the suburbs also depends on if there's a downtown or not, because if there's not really a reason for other people to travel there unless you're a resident, you obviously will not have that much traffic in that town, as opposed to a town with a major downtown area where there's a lot of tourists, a lot of people coming to work. Obviously you'll have a lot more traffic in those towns. The closer the town is to the city, obviously the more traffic that that town will have. So if you don't need to be anywhere near the city, or if you don't plan on traveling into the city often at all, it's very easy to find a quiet suburban town 30 to 60 minutes outside of the city where you don't have to worry about too much traffic. So speaking of public transportation, you might hate living here if you're used to living in an area where you don't need a car and you can 100% 100% rely on public transportation. Although we do have public transportation here in the city and of course out in the suburbs, it's nothing like what you might be used to if you're coming from a major city. Most of the suburban towns, you'll still need a car. Of course, there are plenty of suburban towns that have access right into the train station and you can go right into the city, or you could take a bus. But if you're looking for an area that you can pretty much walk wherever you need to and you don't really have a car, there are a couple very small specific towns that can offer that, but that's of course something we can go over if you do reach out. But overall, if you are looking to move into the suburbs, it's very likely that you'll need a car. So that's something to take into account as well. I have helped a lot of people move here, and there's something about the suburbs that people always think that they're just all the same. It seems like everyone thinks that all suburban towns are just like how you see in the movies. Everybody knows each other. There are community events every weekend, there's parks, etc. I feel that everyone has a very cookie cutter picture of what the suburbs should be, and of course there are plenty of towns within the Philadelphia suburbs that match that exact description, but certainly not all of them are that way. The word suburbs could mean so many different things to so many different people. Anything from a quiet farm town all the way to a very busy downtown, urban, suburban feel, just like a little mini city. So please let me know what exactly you think of when you hear the word suburbs and what environment you're specifically looking for, and I'd be happy to help you find that. Another thing that we're hearing is with more and more people moving here, a lot of people think that it's becoming overdeveloped. There are some towns that used to be very small, quiet towns that are now full of new businesses, new homes, and new people moving in, which can really upset some of the original town residents that have been here for many years because their town that they're used to is turning into something different. Overall though, in a very desired area, growth is bound to happen. So I see it as a great thing because that just means more and more people get to move here and experience how great of an area the Philadelphia suburbs are. Now, I don't want you to think that every single town in the suburbs is just building and building and building and it's becoming too overdeveloped everywhere. That's certainly not the case whatsoever. There are certainly towns with more development than others. So if you're looking for a quiet suburb that hasn't been developed yet, where you can buy a nice quiet home with tons of land, there are certainly plenty of those options left. So just let me know and I can be happy to help you find that. Due to the boost in development, the infrastructure hasn't had time to catch up yet. So although there are some great new developments, we're still lacking on the infrastructure side of things, but I anticipate that that will quickly come and catch up over the next couple of years. So another reason that we're hearing why people might hate living in the Philadelphia suburbs is the allergies. If allergies are a big deal for you and if they affect you like they affect me, I would definitely suggest to come and take an exploratory visit out in the suburbs before you come and make the move. I recently had a client who moved from a different state and he had horrible allergies in his home state, but when he came to visit here and now that he's living here, he's saying that he has no allergies whatsoever. So you never know. It could be a complete flip. So if you're super prone to allergies wherever you're moving from, you could be pleasantly surprised and have no allergies here. Those are some things that people hate about living in the Philadelphia suburbs. If the Philly suburbs seem like a great place for you to live and it seems like a great match, please don't hesitate to reach out. I would love to help you find your perfect Pennsylvania home. All of my contact information is below. But until then, I'll see you over on this video where we talk about all the things that they don't tell you when buying a house here.